Hey everybody, and welcome back to 97% Fire, the home of home recording. In today's episode, we're going to do some studio improvements, including getting a guitar to play properly. No, it's not my new song, it's broken. Oh God. So on the last episode, we made some alterations to the drum kit. We added a room mic and some diffusers. So here are two super quick recordings to show you with and without the room mic. These recordings are done dry, so just the mics off the drums with no processing. So, we are sitting in the control room. I've just tracked some drums for fun. As you can hear there, I've looped. And as you can see, we are sending a stereo out, albeit a very loud stereo out. However, one speaker is working, and the other speaker keeps disappearing. So I get loads of hi-hat and then no hi-hat. So, just to do a quick real-time problems solving, I have done this. So, we can check the output from the computer is working in stereo. And that means the signal is going from the Mac all the way down to the digital mixer desk. And then it comes out here. Output 1 and 2, which goes up this cable here, and you can see a black and a white jack here. So this is where the cable goes through, big K, wonder what that stands for. And it goes down the patch bay, leads round under the desk nice and tidy, and it comes up here. And there's the black and the white cable. You can see that's the input select. That's just so we can see we have stereo going into the Mackie control. We can also hear it via the headphones. But if we come to this section here, we're not getting any sound. So, top tip. First of all, mute your speakers so you don't blow them to bits. Turn it off. And just swap the left and right cable over, and that way we'll be able to test whether it's this output, these cables, or the speaker, in theory. Right, unmute it, turn it back on. Cool, so that works, but there's nothing there. So what that tells us is either this cable is broken, which is more than likely, or the back of the speakers is broken. Now, I did a quick Google image, and we can see that there are 3 different types of input on the speaker. So what I shall do is use one of these cables, which is left over from the pod next door, XLR to TRS, plug that in and see if that fixes the problem. Oh, that reminds me. Reading Festival. If you do ever find yourself on the side of the main stage 2 minutes before the headline act is about to go on, and you lose one of your lines to your broadcast truck, that is the same method you can use to fault find it. So, good little trick to know. Okay, viewers, we return about 10 minutes later. I'm not going to lie to you. I gave up on the XLR idea because of the speaker brackets that are in the way. And I may have used some bad words. But we've got a guitar cable in there, so hopefully that's going to work. For real life jeopardy. And to amuse myself, I have left the turning on of the speaker test until right now. Will it work? Let's press play on that. Signal. One down. Yeah! That works. So we'll turn that one off. Woohoo! Results. Right, back to mixing my terrible drum playing. Just had a report of an intruder in the auxiliary workshop. Let's see if we can help them. Here's good little fella. Right. Time to do some robin wrangling. Oh, that's right. Now, how do we get a robin out of a workshop without scaring him? There he goes. Yay! Cool. Right. Now, where were we? Yes. Guitars. Maybe he was so impressed with my solder, he just wanted to come and join in. Wobbly cam. So, what we have here is a 1953 Gibson Les Paul Gold Top that has been relicked to look like a Encore guitar that you would have bought from Argos back in the day for about £70. And as you can see, whoever turned this did a very good job. Now, the problem with this guitar is, this is my guitar that's tuned to E, so my other guitar is tuned to D sharp for various musical reasons. So if I'm practicing and playing along with something off of the radio, then this is the one I use. But it has stopped working, and I believe the fault may well be this. That ground there, can you see that? It's not actually connected to anything anymore. It looks like this has been rewired at some point. Now, this guitar is actually completely unique, and there's no other ones like it in the world, apart from this one, which is exactly the same. Now, this is actually, bit of history, my first ever guitar that I had when I was, I don't know, 12, 11 years old. And I swapped this for a drum kit. No, I swapped a drum kit for this. And the guy who swapped it was very keen with the deal. But anyway, the point is, we can check the wiring by having a look in this bespoke cavity and seeing that this is indeed wired in a similar but not entirely the same way. So I'm going to fix both of these today. That's got dry joints, so it's very noisy. And then we'll move on to the main topic of today's soldering exploits, which is the bass guitar, which is very broken indeed. So back to the original guitar, the first one ever purchased. I have taken off that guitar this cover, see if it will fit nearly. So it's a bit small. So what I can do is, using a spare piece of plastic, which I just happen to have here. This is a box lid that's broken. It's going to go in the recycling. If I draw around that using this pen, I should be able to cut out a new cavity cover, although that should really be insulated with some sort of paint or copper or something exciting. Right, see if this works. Cool. A couple of screw holes and we're done. So, a little 3mm drill bit. You can use that as a guide. And just by hand I use a slightly bigger bit, like so. You see that on camera? Let's give it a nice countersink so that the screws are flush. Right. I'll then hoover all the plastic and the wood out of there, and then we'll be done. That's quite cool, actually. Right, a bit of a clean, and we'll be good to go. So this is the reason we started soldering in the first place. As you can see, I've already removed the cover. Now, I don't want to be one of those YouTube channels that lowers themselves to cheap innuendo for the sake of a joke, but I was playing the bass the other day so furiously that I actually did pull my knob off. There you go. Now that's not right. And if we have a look inside, we can actually see that, focus, the pot. So we can zoom in. Oh, extreme close up. There we go. So the pot has actually become detached from, where are we? There we are. The workings. So, oh, there you go, literally come off my hand. So, come on. So that used to be attached to there. And this bit is to go through there and act on spline in there. So hopefully this is a 500 pot. So I do happen to have, well, this is a 250k pot. It might work. If not, when we've unwired it, we can always have a look at what it says and buy the right thing. This is just one I happen to have in stock for my guitar making. So today's mission is to unsolder all of that and replace it with all of that, and hopefully that will fit. This is a bit bigger in there. Yes. So physically it fits. It's just whether that affects the tone too much. Right. Let's have a go. So I don't actually do very much in the way of electrical repairs. So the first thing I like to do before undertaking a project like this is to take photos of all the wiring and the pots, and then I'm much more likely to be able to get it back together again. So the process here is to first desolder, or solder if you're an Americanist. What is that anyway? Solder. Tomatoes. Anyway, so we remove all the old solder by heating it up gently, and then I've got this extraction tool which basically creates suction. The next thing I do is to tin the connectors of the new potentiometer. Now I'm using some wire here that was originally for fixing the fuel tank on my car, actually the sender unit, because the ground strap cannot be bent back to touch the pot, so I had to put in a small bridging cable. The wire's probably a little bit too big, but it's all we had, so it was free and that's what we like. Next step is, carefully, reconnecting the signal in and out leads. Again, referring back to the photo that I'd taken earlier, although you could, of course, look up a circuit diagram. And then the hardest bit, which is getting the grounds onto the base of the pots, I find is really tricky, especially as I don't ever do it, so a bit of patience here. If you've got any top tips for how to make that easier, please do let me know in the comments, because I've watched about 50 YouTube videos. Next thing I do is then tighten the pots back up, put the caps back on, and we'll go for a test. Now, if you're into electronics and you want to see an absolute masterclass, there's a channel called Mend It Mark that I highly recommend. I've been watching a lot before I started this. Right, so back plate is on, and then back to the studio. So the big question is, did it work? Let's find out together. Ooh, yeah, baby. No noise. And lots of volume. Now, if you think the amp sounds a bit weedy, it's because I'm using this little fella here, which is brilliant. Right, one down. Did he fix the bass, or is that broken forever? Now, regular viewers, apologies, may have noticed I do indeed have a snazzy new lapel mic. So, we're trying to make more of an effort with our audio production YouTube channel to do good audio production. Now, will a bass guitar work through a guitar amp? Probably. Yeah. Look at that. Sounds good. No buzzing, no humming. Nothing smells like it's burning. Now, obviously, I'd play you a 25-minute flea solo, but you know, copyright.